Greetings, petrolheads, and welcome to Rom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to the penultimate race of the ASRC. Reading comprehension is always good. Not in mid-Ohio, in the Glen. With me, as always, the man with the voice of 1,000 angels. How are you, Cody?
Hello. I'm doing great. It's good to be here at Watkins Glen. This is an IndyCar circuit. This is a NASCAR circuit. This is an IMSA circuit at certain times. And so I'm really excited to be racing here with ASRC. It's going to be a great race. This is a very hilly circuit, very fun circuit. It promises some really good close racing action. And you're joining us with about 10 minutes to go of qualifying. And right now, it looks like Elliott Simpson is the quality leader, and Hankjan Stineker is in second. Andres Valles is in third.
So, talking about standings, I hope I have them right. In the driver's standings, a couple of things changed after Mid-Ohio. Lee Russell falls one place to second, Zenkov taking over the first. What else? Stineker stays strong at third. Kowalski and Ramos change places once again, so we have Kowalski at fourth and Ramos at 5. And that with 2 races to go. It's gonna be this year, Watkins Glen, and next week it's gonna be Motegi in an oval configuration. And I gotta say, I have never seen Motegi in an oval configuration. I have never raced Motegi in an oval configuration. Have you?
I have done a few hot laps. I've never done a proper race. It'll be really exciting. I think it's one that a lot of us in the Western world don't think about too much, with the exception of the times the IndyCar goes there. But it's a cool track. It's a cool track. So Motegi, the circuit, of course, the road course goes all throughout, but the oval is an egg-shaped oval. Americans, NASCAR fans, if you are familiar with Darlington, it's an egg shape like Darlington, and it's not too dissimilar from like a Pocono, except I'm sorry, not a Pocono, Phoenix, except that it's not a tri-oval.
So then one of the curves is different from the other. Yes. That's gonna make it interesting. Especially because these guys are... and Ramos, Simpson goes off-track heavy. Especially because these guys have not had much experience with ovals. They are doing ovals for the first time in this series, and they have a lot to learn.
Well, they did Milwaukee, so Milwaukee was an oval, but they have not done a speedway.
Yeah, during this series, of course, they've done ovals, but before this series, they had no experience with ovals, the drivers.
Oh, I see what you mean. So yeah, we've been at a super speedway, and we've been at a short course, but we haven't been at just a regular speedway yet, I believe. So Motegi will be the first intermediate oval of the series.
Looks as if Kowalski's in the in-lap because he's going quite slow. What you're gonna be seeing during the qualifying, warm-up and race is they do not use the bus stop for whatever reason. Go ahead.
So in IndyCar proper, they use the bus stop because they have to. Safety concerns. You cannot take a car that is as fast as a modern IndyCar and try to go from the big long straight and rip it around that corner safely. Well, in the sim, where you are not risking life or limb, we can take a few more risks. And so, because it's fun, I guess, we are running with 0 bus stop chicane. So it's going to be an absolute blast. You're going to see a lot of passing opportunities. You're probably going to see a few drivers end their race on that corner at the end of the long straight. It'll be really, really exciting to see. Another corner to watch out for is going to be turn 11. That's the final corner before you go onto the start-finish straight. We've been seeing a lot of drivers crash out of there in practice and a few in qualifying as well. So that's been a tricky track corner for them, and we'll have to keep a particular eye on that one. A couple other
interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
A couple other tricky corners that I've seen. If you're looking to watch a wreck, Jacob Kowalski just wrecked at turn 9. That's the corner after the heel. Whenever you think about the boot and the shape and the anatomy of the boot, so the heel is turn 8, and then turn 9 is the one immediately after that when you go back onto the main circuit off of the boot. But yeah, Jacob Kowalski limping his car back. We're still in qualifying. That's a very similar image to what we saw at, I believe it was Milwaukee, I think, when Jacob wrecked hard. If I am remembering right. He's not had the best luck with keeping his Dallara IndyCar on track this season.
Yeah, he's interestingly enough, I would have to look it up. Give me a sec. But I think Kowalski Motorsports are quite high. Yeah.
One thing is for sure, he's definitely shown up. I've seen him at all of the tracks so far, so definitely the advantage of anyone else, and he usually ends up, towards the front of the pack. It's just, I think, consistency is the thing that he might be struggling with.
I mean, Kowalski Motorsports are on second in the team standings behind KML Racing. So, hey, I mean, Kowalski Motorsports is 4 drivers, so Jakob is only one of them. And, of course, Jakob is a very dear friend of mine since he came into the commentating booth at Cleveland, and it was lots of fun to have him there and to be telling us how it feels, this track that doesn't exist anymore as a track. I suppose the airport still exists, but the track is not driven anymore. Mm-hmm. Ooh, so, they're having so much problems at the last corner.
Absolutely, that turn 11 is going to be one to really watch out for. The qualifying session will end in about 3.5 minutes to go. Elliott Simpson is still out in front. Hakan Steneker still in second. Andres Valles still in third. No changes there in your top 3 drivers to start the race since we joined you. A little bit about Watkins Glen. So Watkins Glen first started up racing cars around it in 1956. The track looked very different to how it does now. If you are in Assetto Corsa and you want to race a 60s version of it, Sergio Loro makes a very good 60s Watkins Glen. And there's a few other updates on different modding sites to make that a little bit better. That's my favorite version of Watkins Glen. This version here in R Factor 2, also a really, really wonderful version. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong here, Serta, but I believe this version is laser scanned?
Ooh, I have to pass on that. I don't know. For the longest time, I thought this was a mod, but it seems that it's an official one, so I have to pass there.
Okay. Well,
I suppose that in preparation for the IndyCar game, which is until now still being made by Studio 397, they're gonna have laser scanned all the tracks, but I wouldn't be sure. And this is, I think, an relatively old version of Watkins Glen, not one of the newest ones. So I don't know if they laser scanned this or not.
just looked it up. It is. It is LiDAR scanned, so this is as accurate a new version as you're going to get. I believe also the Assetto Corsa version is laser scanned, maybe based off the same source. They certainly look very similar. So yeah, lots of good versions, lots of great ways to race this track. And I would say that this track, maybe with the exception of Turn 9, is a very good beginner-friendly track. Like Sector 1 feels very intuitive. It looks scary, but whenever you get a car with some downforce, get a nice, simple, easy-to-drive GT3, get yourself out on Watkins Glen, do a few hot laps, you're gonna have a really good time. This is a great circuit. And
I
it
don't
is
know. I'm not sure this is so as beginner friendly as you think, as the curves all have some banking and so on. So I don't know if a beginner will really survive Watkins Glen.
Maybe this is me coming from the NASCAR oval side of things, but I find the banking makes corners easier to take, especially if you're not taking them 110% flat out, because it gives you more leeway to I wouldn't say make mistakes, but it gives you more leeway to just jam on the throttle and not spin the wheels out because of that banking. If it was off camber, turned the other way, you would have to be even more careful. I would absolutely agree with you. But I think that the banking in, the corner in, kind of leads the car on the natural racing line. And for me, I guess growing up, I always thought that this was a fun track when I was very much a beginner, which I'm not going to say I'm not a beginner now. I'm just a beginner racer with a lot more experience. Always learning.
Qualifying has ended. Simpson on first on pole position, Steneker on second, Van Leuven, who already did a very good race in Mid-Ohio, on third.
Yes, he knocked out Malakar in fourth now. That's interesting to note. Going to be on the second row, but just a different part of the second row.
Valles on fifth and Kowalski on sixth. By the way, Van Leuven, these guys are also doing a Formula One series, and Van Leuven won the Formula One race yesterday, their first one.
Hey, well, cool. He'll be definitely one to watch on the road course here, because controversial opinion, IndyCar fans. IndyCar on a road course has similar driving dynamics to Formula One on all the road courses that they're on, because it is a very, very fast open wheeler. That's kind of where the similarities stop, but that is a big similarity.
Only I consider watching IndyCar more fun than watching Formula One, but that's
significantly
another story.
Oh, significantly. No arguments there. Looks like Hector Comarut for Spanish Racing is still out on track. I think he's the last driver. He is coming around very, very slowly. But as soon as he finishes his lap, qualifying will be done and dusted, and then we will get into most likely a warm-up, and then we'll go racing. But yeah, we're just waiting on Hector Comarut for the moment. He may have not put a whole lot of fuel in that car, and did his laps, came and then he was ready for an in lap, and then realized that oh wait a minute, I don't want to run out of fuel.
I'm not ready for an in lap.
Yep. Because it looks like he is kind of hugging the very insides of corners, basically idling the car forward at a very low rate of speed. That is the hallmarks of a driver who has no fuel left in the tank and is just trying to get it back. So he's trying not to get stranded here. I'm not sure
But
he's
he
gonna
is
make
getting
it, though.
stranded.
Yeah.
He looks very stranded to me.
Oh,
Yep.
yep, he's gone. Well, that will officially end qualifying, and now the warm-up will begin. 10 minutes of warm-up for these drivers. They can get their qualifying setups out of the way, put their race setup back on, and put a couple of laps down on their race setup so that they will be used to it come the time to start the race. So here's a fun fact about Watkins Glen. So not only is Watkins Glen used as a racing circuit, but the grounds are also used as a music concert venue. So they had hosted a few artists that you may recognize: the Allman Brothers Band, the Grateful Dead, the band.
That was the time that IndyCar could not play because they were still on a solo.
Yeah, and then recently, more recently, relatively speaking, Fish and a place called Magna Ball, I guess, which was a fish festival. There you go. So there you go. Watkins Glen, like a few other tracks, very multifaceted venue.
Yeah, there's a festival every year called Rock am Ring, which unsurprisingly is done at Nürburgring.
Ah.
I don't know why you would do that, because the Nürburgring is in the middle of nowhere, but maybe you can then be as loud as you want because it is in the middle of nowhere. And you have hotels and so on, so yeah, maybe that's why they do it. But I find it strange to go to a concert on a racing track.
That makes sense. Texas World Speedway, which no longer exists, RIP, but it was down in College Station, very near to Texas A&M University. They used to hold a bunch of country and western concerts back in the 60s and 70s.
So both kinds of music.
Both kinds of music, exactly. And that was very much back in the day where the South had its stereotype of being very monoculture and deserved it. It's much different from now, but even, I have a book actually from the early 90s or mid 90s, somewhere around there, called The Big Black Book. And it's basically this like guide to life. Basically every question that you would Google nowadays, of like, everything from like, how do I tie my shoes to how do I pick a college for my kids? And there's one section in there that's like the best places to eat in large cities. And so it had like New York and Boston, and I think it had a few international places. It was largely US focused. But one of the ones was Dallas, and it was like, hey, Dallas is no longer just American food. Now we have new American food. And I was like, oh, come on. But it's very different nowadays. Much broader mix of cultures, which is very nice and very welcome. Anyways, getting off on a tangent. Lots of race tracks have been music venues. Watkins Glen is one of them. Watkins Glen is located in upstate New York. Fun fact. I don't know if too many people know that. New York is more than just the city. And it is also a beautiful, wonderful, forested... it's a really pretty area, upstate New York. I have a friend who grew up there. I met him in college, and then he moved back there after college. And I've seen like places around his hometown, and they are beautiful.
Yeah, but that's true. Not many people know that this is in you always think of all these places being in the middle of nowhere, flyover country or something like that. No, this is New York. That's why we see so many I love NY. Whoa, Nakar finding the wall. Ouch. That's as long as he only does that in the warm-up.
Yeah, that's what the warm-up's for. Get all that out of your system, right?
Yeah, or try the last little change in the setup to see if it brings something, and if you end up in the wall, you know it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. There's a place in Watkins Glen, actually, that certainly was placed in Watkins Glen because of the circuit, but I've always wanted to go. It's just a little like library area called the International Motor Racing Research Center, and they are motorsport historians.
Cool. Like motorsport from all over the world, or very American motorsport saying, "Hey, we are the World Series," and it's only an American series.
I think because it's called International Motor Racing Research Center, I think it is world focused.
So if it's international for all too many Americans in sports, it means it's Canada and the US.
Well, Canada's not outside of Mosport. They're not really big racing powerhouses, but certainly, you know, there's a lot of like looking to Europe and Asia with regards to motorsports. Whenever you look outside of just NASCAR, because outside of NASCAR and IMSA and IndyCar, not a whole lot going on over here.
Well,
at least for road courses.
If you look at Europe, DTM is dead, WTCR is dead, so you have Formula One, which is becoming a very American series. Yes?
You just broke the news to me that WTCR is dead.
Yes, it faltered in fall last year.
My goodness!
It's completely done and dusted. It's they won't be doing any races this year, and they have just stopped doing anything. Oh, Kolsov also kissing the wall.
Ouch, man! Wow. Okay. Well, Cody just learned something bad.
and DTM got sold to the ADAC. After a couple of years, a couple of years where it was only a GT3 series, so there's not much good motorsport going on in Europe at the moment, because I don't call Formula One good motorsport. Formula One has become just pure drama.
Juanma Fuentes just spun turn 11 and impaled himself on the pit barrier.
Not a good thing to do.
No, that's every track designer's worst nightmare for that to happen.
And I mean, I'm surprised that NASCAR in the States is still alive, because
NASCAR is more popular than ever. I don't know what you mean.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah, like it is, you know, like a lot of things. As people get older, it's always, you know, oh, I wish that it was, you know, like it was when I was growing up.
Yeah, and blah blah blah.
I find myself falling into that same thing as well. I liked the Gen 4 cars that when they spun around, they flipped over and went flying and all that, right? But the racing is good. The racing is close. As you know, new generations of drivers who are making themselves into new stars, and you know, there's rising stars. There's cool stories. Ross Chastain did the thing around the wall, the watermelon flick.
Yeah,
you know,
to that, which is not forbidden because of that.
Right. But it's, you know, there's still cool innovation and weird things at a race this weekend. Actually, there was a protest from one driver who. I don't think he'll be a driver anymore after this, but so in NASCAR you have like 5 minutes to repair damage on your car if you go behind the wall. Anything more than that, and you're disqualified. And so they had his car picked up pretty significant front end damage. They went behind the wall. They had their 5 minutes. They fixed everything that they could, got it taped up pretty good, and then they went back out on the track, and they were running again. And a piece of tape came off of his car, and NASCAR disqualified him because a piece of tape came off of his car. So they were like, well, you repaired the damage, but your car is still shedding damaged parts. And so now, because it shed a damaged part, which was literally just a piece of tape, we're going to disqualify you. And so the driver did not want to come in, so he didn't come in at first. And so they radioed him again. They're like, hey, park the car. And so he parked the car on the start-finish straight. And got out of the car and walked back to the pit lane and left the car on the start-finish straight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, NASCAR is still very interesting to watch.
So what I've read is that the viewer numbers are dwindling, and also the numbers of the people going to the races are dwindling. But I may be based on old numbers.
From what I've seen, if the numbers are going down, you can't tell from the atmosphere and the action. Like, it's still very much beloved. I hear more people talking about NASCAR now than I did 5 years ago, and so that's a good sign. I have people who are not in motorsports or anything like that who are saying oh, hey, I saw X thing or Y thing happened with NASCAR, I thought you'd be interested. And it's like, oh wow, okay, this is popping up to people. People are becoming aware of this. And so in terms of raw numbers, I don't know, but of the people interest and brain space that it's taking up in the public's mind, I perceive that as increasing, at least anecdotally. But yeah,
IMSA is going as strong as ever. We just had the 12 hours of Sebring.
Yes, yeah.
Where the Porsches took out themselves.
Well, kind of.
Well, yes. Well, yes.
We had the incident with the LMP3 going into the back of a Porsche during a caution, which I tweeted out this is the most LMP3 moment in history or something like that. This is a peak LMP3 moment, I think it was. It was just yeah, man, you couldn't make that up. It's really funny too that LMP3 drivers drive in real life how they do in AC Friends Endurance. Sorry, not sorry. Alexander, thank you for telling us the sound is good. I appreciate hearing that.
Thank you.
Also, shout out, Alexander. Good to see you watching.
Hi, mate. We're about to start the race in a minute now. As always, one lap behind the pace car, which, as Nick was saying, is a banana. And don't ask me why. I don't know why R Factor 2 shows this strange pace car, which I don't know. It's not. It's like the idea of an open wheeler, and I don't know why it does that.
Although it looks like, so of course we're going to do a rolling start, as we tend to do in this series. I'm seeing the Corvette rendered properly.
Okay, so it's an issue with my R Factor 2, but I don't know which issue it is, because
you may install that car.
But I have. The thing is, I have, and I've checked the files that they are okay. And our Factor 2 tells me the files are okay.
In
Come
R
again?
Factor. Is the package activated in R Factor 2?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it's, I don't know. I'll have to check everything once again because that banana is bananas. But still. So I acknowledge that you see it, that you see it correctly. I don't know why I don't. Steneker just looking around and saying, "Hey, I'm here." No, Steneker, don't do stuff. Keep behind. $60 rounds of Watkins Glen with the ASRC. It's the one to last race of their IndyCar series, and if you like the style of these drivers, keep your eyes open. It's very possible that you will be seeing people from the ASRC in May once again, but psh, we're not telling anything else.
So here we are. We're coming around. This section is called the boot for anyone uninitiated. It's called that because from above it looks just like a boot. Funny how that works. And so this corner coming around here, this is turn 8. This one after that the safety car is going through right now is turn 9. That's going to be a really, really tricky one for some of these drivers. We've seen a lot of spins there in practice and qualifying. And then here we are coming around to turn 10. This is a fairly quick corner. The downforce really kicks in on this one. You can run fairly wide.
Pace car going into pits.
This corner will be a tricky one. Here we are. We see start finish straight. Holding the breath, and we go live. We're racing.
Oh, Fuentes got a penalty.
Ooh, that might have been a false start. Drivers getting a little bit loose
for illegally pass before start finish.
Ooh, never fun.
Neto also with a penalty. For track limits. At the front we have Simpson, Steneker, Van Leuven. No big changes there, but we are still at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, Van Leuven moves up into second place behind Simpson. Steneker in third. Jacob Kowalski looking around the outside. He gets blocked by Malacher. Not sure how to pronounce that name. I'm so sorry. But it looks like Simpson is maintaining the lead. Van Leuven is really, really close behind. They're all quite packed in tightly there as we come around on the first lap.
Simpson pulling a little bit away from Van Leuven. Not very much. About 3/4 of a second. Steneker already losing space to Van Leuven. And a lot of sparks flying. Is this the 4th of July or what?
I'm sure they do a very fun 4th of July celebration around here.
Oh, Simpson trying to break the draft from Van Leuven. I'm not sure if he moved once too much. Oh, Steneker already on 4th.
Yeah, Malacher was able to pass him for position. Of course, Steneker, no slouch. He'll try to get that back.
Oh, he's losing once again.
Baez.
Wait, what?
Major pass. Was this...
No, but he just I think, are we having a yellow a full course
We are,
yellow?
yes. Yellow has come out in Sector 2. So it's a Sector 2 yellow, not a full course caution.
But they are all
I'm not sure. Yeah, it is persisting. There is a yellow flag that has come out.
so the Indycar going into pits. He may have an issue.
I found out the reason why. Claudio Oliveira and Hector Comerut, they're running together. They're very far down the order. They are missing front wings, and looks like Comerut is missing a rear wing. Eugene Zadlatko is also in that incident, missing both wings. And Franci Pacheco, similar fate in the CS Racing IndyCar.
And we see the safety car, the pace car, in front. So we have a full course yellow, so to speak. Wasn't expecting a full course yellow in a road track, mid Ohio, which is more difficult than this. We didn't see any, but we are seeing one at the Glen. That's interesting.
Interesting. So the pace car is out, of course, as we see. And then there's also a second pace car still sitting in the pit lane.
Yeah, the one in the pit lane is the one from the game. We have a real person sitting in the pace car that is on track.
Ah, good to know.
And it may be Nick has. Oh, Nick is in the race, so I don't know who is driving that one today. And by the way, Van Leuven not wanting to lose any opportunity is just really near to Simpson, like smelling his fumes.
Indeed, he doesn't have to be that close, but maybe he's trying to make Simpson nervous. Who knows?
There's still a while to go until the pace car comes in.
Yes, indeed. This would be the part of the broadcast where we go to commercial.
I already did a commercial break.
Indeed. Man, I'm just reeling at the news of the WTCR folding. I had no idea.
Yeah, pity. Pity, because it was a lot of fun. Okay, so we have Eugene Zaglatko, who has DNF'd, and Picherko in pits. Back. But yeah, WTCR, they were having issues with a couple of companies not being happy with the regulations and the way that the that the races were organized, and it seems that that many of them said at the same time that they were going away, so it just faltered. And it had great tracks. I still remember the time where the Seat diesels were on a Seat train, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth.
Oh wow!
Yeah. All the diesels just showing the middle finger to the gas ICEs. It was Cabello also. Polsov, no, Pelio DNF'd, and Zaglat. Kerko still in pits. So yeah, WTCR was always a lot of fun. Thing is, somehow it was always like, oh yeah, and there's the WTCR. You never thought of, oh yeah, when is the next race of the WTCR? It was like, oh, it was this weekend? Oh.
Yeah, I remember, 2000s, like WTCC, which just became rebranded into WTCR. It was relatively popular. It was in, certainly it was in a lot of different like video games and the like, either officially or as a mod. I remember it, it being quite enjoyable to drive and play with it. It'll be really sad seeing that all this stuff is gone. But we will have the memories, and who knows, maybe a new touring car series will take its place.
Picharko's still in pits, Simpson warming his tires, Ivan not knowing what to do.
We are still under safety car here. As with a lot of IndyCar races, you're going to see quite a few safety cars, especially for sim racing. We race a little bit more aggressively, a little bit more risk tolerant, I'll say.
On the other hand, Mid-Ohio had no yellow, no pace car, no full course yellows at all. So hey, there's that.
There is that. That's true. That's true. Maybe at Mid-Ohio they were being more careful because of the track. Who knows? Yeah, that did kind of surprise me that we ran so clean at Mid-Ohio. You remember Milwaukee, the short oval? That was every other lap.
We're about to restart the race with Simpson at first. Mlakar trying to, Mlakar overtook Van Leuven, but Van Leuven is not letting that stay. Retook second position.
Big crash. Ankian Steneker is involved. Carlos Frau is involved. Belchior Neto, is involved as well in the first corner. It doesn't look like we've gone to a caution flag just yet, but man, Steneker lost a significant amount of time based off of that. I think they all just kind of maybe one of them spun and the other one's locked up trying to get out of the way, but they all just kind of slid off the road at the same time together. I didn't see any contact. That doesn't mean there wasn't contact, but there's no visual damage on any of these cars. But they get back out. Well, Ankian Steneker went from about 4th or 5th down to 15th. He will have a really, really big uphill battle to fight for the rest of this race. Unfortunate. But he's got a lot of time to do it. We're only on lap 7 of 60 laps. So you will be with us for a little while. We hope you stick around. we have an exciting race for you. Sander van Leuven in 4th. Looks like Elliot Simpson, your current race leader, just set a new best lap. 1 minute 28.656.
Yeah, and Van Leuven went from 2nd to 4th for whatever reason, and he's trying to get near Kowalski.
Yeah, Jacob Kowalski doing quite well in the race so far. He moved up constantly. I don't think he dropped back any positions at any point so far. It has been constantly moving up, so good for Jakob Kowalski. The other two drivers of Kowalski Motorsports, that's Timon Suvik, and he is running in 10th. And that is, let's see, one other driver. Let me remember I had it in this. Oh, yellow in Sector 2. Alexander Schultz is the other driver for Kowalski Motorsports. And he's in 12th. Yeah, so the yellow's out. Cars are slowing down, I think. Yes, looking for a crash. I'm not seeing it. May have been a driver that just spun. Pablo Lopez Garcia just came out of the pits. I don't know if we mentioned it. Juanma Fuentes DNF'd as well. I'm not quite sure why. Yellow in Sector 3 now. I am looking and looking and looking for a cause for the yellow. Oh, here we are. Belchior Neto, Ghost Team, is currently running in 15th. He's dropped down the order a good bit. He was involved in that initial spin at the start of this stint of green flag running, and he just was driving on the grass. He may have spun, may have hit something. He still has his wings and everything looks intact, but he has come into the pits now, presumably to pit for some sort of damage that he may have picked up. So that was probably the yellow in Sector 2, and then the yellow in Sector 3 was just him off track. Elliot Simpson leading the race by the largest gap he has had so far, 1.6 seconds. And it's Malakar in second, Dmitry Malakar. Sander van Leuven in third, and Jacob Kowalski running very, very wide in turn 9 in fourth. Vladislav Zenkov is in the top 5 in fifth. So it looks like a lot of these drivers are settling in. Oh, Timon Suvik came into pits. That seems a little bit early, but our first round of pit stops will be coming up sometime soon. These cars don't hold as much fuel as some others. And certainly since they're running the larger downforce kits, they won't be as fuel efficient as they would be on an oval, for instance. Because downforce oftentimes equals drag, and drag equals resistance and friction is bad for fuel economy. If you would like to get into the action, into the racing, join the RomRom Discord and we can point you where to go. I'm going to push that also as well. If you just want to hang out in a fun sim racing community of resources and of just awesome, fun, great people, and also if you want to stay up to date with when we post videos, when we'll be going live with certain events, such as this one. Also, join the RomRom Discord. We have a link in the description of this video and of just about every RomRom video. Additionally, we have a Patreon, and if you want to buy a shirt, we also have a link to spreadshirt.net, where you can buy RomRom merchandise. I have a sweater that is very comfortable.
Okay, I don't have that link ready.
I can.
The ones to the Discord and Patreon I had, but that one I didn't.
There you go. I've got you covered. Link is in the chat now. Elliot Simpson still out in front. Mlakar in second. Van Leuven is in a close third.
Well, 1 second away, so.
Yeah, but I mean, at the speeds that they're going, you know, a 1 second can be closed very quickly. Stepanenko coming into pit, Nick Stepanenko, for advanced competition. He actually came in, looks like with damage. He lost a front wing. No caution came out at any point for that damage, but my guess is probably brushed up against the wall at turn 9 or turn 11, one of those two.
And what you're seeing right now is the battle for fourth between Zenkov, Valles, and Wang.
Indeed, those three have been running very, very near to each other for the past couple of laps. And now it's really, really coming to a head. As you can see, they're all within a car length of each other, taking very different lines through turn 9 here. It's a very tricky corner to get right. It looks deceptively simple, but it tightens. You don't have as much outside corner exit as you would want, and so you have to take the line a little bit differently than what it would look like. These drivers, they've got experience in these Indy cars at this point. They know how to take these corners, but definitely a lot of different solutions to the same problem.
So, Fuentes' issue was that the wheel disconnected.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Man. Well, just like in real life racing, mechanical issues can happen.
Valles trying to get the better of Zenkov, but not being able.
Oh, yellow in sector 3. A yellow in sector 3. It may have just been a brief one. I'm not seeing lasting damage, but I've been saying that a lot lately. It's a lot easier with an oval because you know, you can get a bird's eye view and take a look at everything all at once. On a road course, that's a bit more difficult. The way it's done in real life is they will have a bunch of different cameras on a bunch of different monitors, and they'll be able to see all of them all at once. I can just switch cameras to whichever car looks interesting to me. I do not have that bird's eye in the sky kind of view. So sometimes we'll miss things, and sometimes we'll see things but don't quite know why. And that's because we're a small operation. You can help us become a less small operation by donating to the Patreon. There's lots of cool perks and benefits, and you know, it's a good time. I'm just trying to see how many things I can wrap into a promotion. I'm having fun with it. Do join the Patreon though, because you get some perks But more importantly, it shows that you support the channel and that you support the awesome, very regular sim racing news. We're one of the only ones who does it as frequently as we do, and we're the only ones who does it as thoroughly as we do.
And meanwhile, we're seeing Zenkov, Valles, and Wang still fighting for 4th. Wang just hanging tight at 7th, fighting for 5th, of course. Wang hanging tight on 7th and just letting Valles and Zenkov fight it out. And I suppose he's waiting for these two to take each other away, and then he'll...
Nick Stepanenko took another pit stop. He pit in just a little while ago for damage, and then this one looked like it was a quicker pit stop. But
Lopez Garcia DNF'd.
Oh goodness. He was running a lap down. That may have been a crash out. I couldn't fathom a reason why he would leave so soon otherwise. Might be something to follow up with him, sorta. But yeah, that brings the total number of DNFs in this race so far to 4. We're on lap 15 of 60. So a quarter of the way through.
And I've changed to Wang's view. Oh, you see the fight between Zenkov and Valles. The best from that point of view. Valles trying to find a hole somewhere, left, right,
Getting
up,
very,
down.
very close to the behind of Zenkov. Goodness, I thought they were going to go into each other there, but they did not. Thankfully, they live to tell another tale. Live to fight another day.
Yeah, these three have been going on for a while now. Luckily, knock on wood, without any incident, and that's what we want to see. Battles, 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 and no issues.
I think Wang, he's got good pace, and he, I think, he's had a couple of opportunities, I think, to get closer to or alongside of Valles and Zenkov. But Valles is fighting very, very hard to try to find a space to wedge his way into like the inside of Zenkov's car on a corner such as this one here. Look, he looks towards the inside. It just hasn't been able to. I think that oh, we have a very slow Nick Stepanenko. Oh, he may just be having technical difficulties of some form. That might be why he's coming in and out of the pit so much.
But the outside, by the way.
Yes,
and
yeah.
He's now got the inside.
Oh, they're halfway alongside each other.
Valles overtook Zenkov.
Makes the pass for the moment. Whoa, Wang getting very loose there.
Yeah, Wang had to go a little bit out so as not to crash into Zenkov. Mlaker into pits.
Whoa, Zenkov spins. Valles spins. Turn 1.
But wait, Valles spun because of Zenkov? No, he just spun, right?
The two of them spun together. I think they got into each other in the braking zone into turn 1, and it broke both cars loose. They got it back going together, but Wang moves into 3rd place. Here they go, looking at too wide into turn 1 with no bus stop to slow them down.
So, as I was saying, good things come to those who wait. Wang just stood behind and got the spoils of war.
Let them take each other out. Sometimes that's the best way to do it. Hector Comarut, missing a front and rear wing, getting
Yikes.
passed by the leaders. So Hector Comarut's been having a very hard time keeping parts on that car. This is a very fast track, a very fun track, and if you're not going, like, you know, as I mentioned, full 110%, it's a very good beginner track. However, I won't say it's the most forgiving track in all spots. And I think Comarut has found about half of those spots so far.
Van Leuven once again on second, trying to get to first. Trying to find a way around Elliott Simpson, which is not easy. Well, he's got the inside.
Oh, Honkion Stinaker's missing a front wing.
Yikes.
Oh man, and he was scraped up against the side of the exit of turn 9. He's coming into a very slow pit lap. Oh man. Unfortunate race for Honkion Stinaker.
Yeah.
Had that incident at the restart. We've been green for a full course green for a while now. At the start of the last stint of green flag, he spun and lost the majority of his track position, and then now this is looking like it's going to be a while in the pit lane, and he's in 13th and dropping. Belcher Neto, apologies, just passed him. Oh,
Van Leuven spins. He was on first. He spun, and Simpson took the first, and with at least as far as we can see, with no contact with Simpson, he just spun.
Yeah, that's the same place that we saw Vyaz and Zenkov spin.
For that.
It's interesting. I've been predicting turn 11 would be a tricky one because they were really struggling with that in practice and qualifying, but it looks like turn 1 has been a bit trickier for these drivers in practice during the race. I guess I should say in actuality.
We're back watching Valles fighting, this time for 4th against Georgi Koltsov. Indycar still in pits. Yikes. Take a look at the view from Valles.
Lang now in second place. That Van Leuven has now come into the pits.
Well, and remember that Van Leuven had that spin. I think Wang overtook him there.
Well, yes. But now Zenkov is also in the pits as well. I think we're just beginning our first round of pit stops. Alexander Schultz comes into the pits for Kowalski Motorsports, running in 10th place in the number 10 car. Drops down to 11th. Alexander Meshkov now in 10th.
Either I have an issue with the netcode, or Valles has an issue with his car, because I see it waving left and right and right and left.
Let me take a look at Vyaz's car. Of course, I am across the pond from Serta. I think it's just his driving style. He's just kind of loose.
Okay.
Because I'm seeing that a lot as he's putting the power down. It just kind of, the car wiggles a bit.
Okay. I'm not seeing things.
Well, whatever he's doing, it's working because he's running in 4th.
Yeah, but he's not getting around Koltsov.
No, but he's getting nearer to Koltsov. That gap was a much larger gap a lap ago. He's closed in on Koltsov. I think this would be the most interesting battle we have going on. Will he be able to catch him on the straight? He's getting nearer to him. 0.2 seconds back, slows down to half a second back as he brakes early for the long... What degree would that be? It's like a 200-degree radius corner, something like that. 220, something like that. It's turn 6. Turn 5. Turn 5. Having to count my corners.
Okay, yeah.
Let's take a look on board with Andres Valles as he tries to find a way around Koltsov. We have now gone around 1 lap since he caught Koltsov. Koltsov just got a little bit loose around turn 1, but was able to carry speed. I thought that was going to be a closer car length, but actually no, he is gaining on him through the straight here. Andres Valles doing a little bit of a wiggle. Koltsov not wanting to let him through, blocks him. Koltsov running very defensive line. Whoa, Valles gets loose. Very shaky. Watkins Glen Indycar just had a 1 minute 27.7. That is quite a bit faster than any other lap we've seen so far. So his time in the pits, although devastating for his race so far, well, he's coming out with a much newer, faster car. So maybe, just maybe, he'll be able to salvage something from this race. Looks like Elliott Simpson is in the pits. He gets passed, and Wang is your new leader. With Koltsov in 2nd and Andres Valles in 3rd. So now the battle for 3rd has become the battle for 2nd. And looks like that's Nick Stepanenko that they're going around, Koltsov and Valles. As they dive down into turn 5. Valles carrying a little bit too much speed into that turn. Now they go in the uphill. Usually it's good to hug the inside of that corner best you can, but it can be very tricky to do as you're suddenly turning uphill and have to worry about 3 axes of motion as opposed to just 2 as you usually would. There's a lot of that on this very hilly, twisty, turny track. I love how quick these corners are. This is a track that, for example, the McLaren 720S GT3 is very well suited for. Lots of cars that enjoy fast turns with high downforce, such as an IndyCar, are an absolute blast to drive on this track. Wang pit in now, so Koltsov is the leader and Andres Valles is close behind. These guys will need to come into the pits shortly, but they are battling like it's the last lap.
Battling like it's the last lap for how long now?
Right? Absolutely. Vaya's looking to the inside. Koltsov moving to cut him off. They're weaving. Car behind can weave. Car in front cannot weave. And Koltsov kind of, I guess, testing the limits of that rule.
Let's call it that. When these two get into pits, which I would suspect is gonna be anytime soon, Simpson and Van Leuven are gonna retake first and second. Ooh, Koltsov had a little bit of a lockup there. Oof. He's really struggling. He's keeping first place, but he's struggling.
Yeah, Vaya's is definitely giving him a run for his money, keeping him honest. I think Koltsov maybe didn't expect to be in this position right now. Of course, you know, happy to be in it, but as we say often, it's much more comfortable position to be the one attacking rather than the one defending. And you know, Koltsov is making a few moves that I don't think he would make if he didn't have Vaya's right on his back bumper. I see a yellow in Sector 3. I'm going to take a look, see if I can find the source of that.
And Valles is on the inside. Can he make it stick? No, I don't think so. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? No.
I think that may have been Alexander Meshkov who triggered the yellow in Sector 3. Because it was Sector 3, he was able to dive right into the pits. I think he just had a bit of a loose moment and picked up some damage. So he comes into the pits to repair that. Vaya's looking at the inside. I don't know if he's going to do it just yet.
I mean, Valles has the pace, but I think his car may not have the pace compared to Koltsov's car.
I think Koltsov's just putting on a masterclass in defending right now, because there's, as you mentioned, you know, Vaya's has. Oh, it looks like Koltsov may be coming. Yep, they're both coming into the pit at the same time. Oh, almost in the back of each other. Oh, Vaya's trying to avoid Koltsov, ends up hitting the barrier. Where the barrier begins for the pit entry.
That's gonna give some conversations after the race.
Yeah, it may just be that you know, Koltsov repairs whatever damage he just picked up. Vaya's repairs whatever damage he picks up, and Koltsov just gains a couple of seconds based off of that. But Elliot Simpson, probably the more rightful leader since he's already taken his pit stop, is now back in front, and Sander van Leuven is in second. He's 3.5 seconds behind, but it looks like he's gaining on Simpson. It might be ever so slightly, but he's picking up a 10th here and there.
And where we see something cooking is between Zenkov and Wang.
Yep, that is the battle for 4th. Both cars in the top 5 for the moment. If you remember, not too long ago, Wang was following behind as Zenkov and I believe it was Vaya's, correct? They were battling it out and ended up getting into each other. Wang hung out behind them, waited for them to crash into each other, took the advantage, led a few laps of the race before eventually having to pit again. And now he's back out in the top 5, Zenkov as well, and Wang finds himself following Zenkov yet again. But now it's him battling to try to get ahead, as opposed to just hanging behind and waiting for an accident to occur.
Hopefully not.
Van Leuven has gained a second on Simpson. He is 2.5 seconds back. We'll keep you guys updated as we stay with Wang and Zinkov, who, as you can see, are very close to each other within a half a second. Looks like Wang has the overspeed, looks to the inside. Zinkov goes to block.
And he blocks.
Yep, Zinkov blocks again. He's able to get away with that because the racing line dictates that you go to the outside of the track there. So he did okay as far as not weaving in front of the other driver. Yellow in sector 3. We're looking at sector 3 right now. Not seeing too much.
But there was we just passed a car that was missing a front wing.
My guess is probably turn 9. Claimed a victim.
Possible.
Andres Kananowicz and Belcher Neto comes in. Looks like Neto was the one who lost the wing.
Oh.
He is now down 1 lap.
Yeah, he was already in an accident on the first lap, if I remember correctly.
Indeed. Van Leuven, Sander Van Leuven, 1.5 seconds back. He's gaining time rapidly, reeling in Elliott Simpson as he goes.
Well, it may be that Simpson is taking it easy until Van Leuven is one second away, but you never know.
Could be. Wang glued to the back bumper of Zinkov. Oh, goodness. We're about to have 2 fights at the same time here. Van Leuven getting even closer to Simpson.
Yeah, true that.
Battle for the lead. Battle for 4th.
Forget what I said. Clearly, Simpson has had an issue because Van Leuven is only half a second away.
Wang pits in.
On the other hand, that makes it easy to continue watching this battle.
Indeed.
Van Leuven
Van Leuven going around the outside, trying to get the position.
On the next one, he's on the inside.
Yeah, that's a very good place to pass, and he does it. Clean textbook example of how to pass there.
And based on what has been happening in the last laps, I expect Van Leuven to take air quite fast.
Yeah, he's going to really focus on widening that gap between them. They have the actually 2 laps down Claudio Oliveira in front of them to get around. Elliott Simpson might be able to catch up to Van Leuven as they work through lap down traffic. But it looks like Oliveira is laying by, allowing them to pass.
At some point, I'm keeping an eye at Kowalski against Valles. No, okay. So for a while they were very near to each other, but now Valles has taken much more time. Hey, 4th of July all over again. Simpson scraping tarmac.
Yes, as
you're gonna have to pay for that, young man.
As we have seen, sparks are flying, both on the track surface and with the racing. Yellow in sector 3.
It's interesting because Simpson comes near, then he loses half a second, then comes near again, then he loses half a second. So there's a couple of corners where Simpson seems to be better, and a couple of corners where Van Leuven is clearly better.
Andres Valles, that's the yellow in sector 3. He had what looks like a hard crash. He has suspension damage, and he's lost his rear wing. That was on the final turn 11. Andres Valles spins in front of Carlos Frau on turn 2. This may be a full course yellow. We have a car with no rear wing having to make his way around the entire lap. Whoa!
Oh!
Alexander Meshkov crashes hard into the back of Andres Valles. Valles loses his rear wheel. That's the end of Valles' race. And, oh my goodness.
And he's stopped at a very, very bad position on the track.
Yeah, that is on the apex
And
of
he's gone.
turn 3. Yeah, he is DNF'd out of there.
Whoa!
Alexander Meshkov had a hard crash. He's lost his front wing. I would be surprised if we should have seen a full course caution come out as soon as Valles spun. We did not, and as a result, Meshkov slams right into the stopped car. With looks like he picked up some very heavy front end damage. He's running a lot slower than he was. Whew.
This is becoming a race of attrition.
It really is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars have DNF'd so far in this race out of a total of 23 entrants. Looks like the pace car is sitting on track, not moving, which is a bit strange.
He's waiting for Van Leuven to come in.
Oh, okay, I see.
And Van Leuven goes into pits. Benson goes into pits. So I suppose they've called full course yellow, and the drivers are all now.
Yes, although frankly, full course yellow should have happened a lap ago. Elliott Simpson pits, Van Leuven pits as you 1 and 2, your leaders. Alexander Meshkov, unsurprisingly, in the pits. He'll be there for a while, repairing that damage. Nick Stepanenko, who has been having a terrible time staying out of the pits. Some issue had him driving around much slower than he would normally. He had to come into the pits several times over before it looks like he finally got that up and running, and then now he's back in the pits. Probably a normal service, I'm guessing. Not sure. Dmitry Malakar in the pits. That's 3rd place. So your leaders have all pit in on this full course yellow. Steneker in the pits. Meshkov still in the pits. Carlos Frau pits in. Hector Komarut pits in.
Like they're all using the safety car phase because it's a good moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is not a surprising thing if you're new to racing, new to sim racing. It's very common to pit under a caution because as all the other drivers are going around the track slower, you can pit in and get out relatively faster than you would if the drivers were going around at full speed.
You can see that the pace car is driven by a real-life person because at some corners the car gets a little bit squirrely. If we can go on board the pace car, there we go. Unluckily not into the cockpit, but at least on board. So this is the second yellow phase, full course yellow that we get. Interestingly enough, the second in the Glen, while Mid-Ohio had 0 of them. Not that Mid-Ohio was without issues, but they were solved easier than here. I'm checking the Discord, but nobody else has given any information.
Your standings as they sit right now. Van Leuven is in first, Elliot Simpson is in second, Wang is in third, Dmitry Malakar is in fourth, Zinkov fifth, Koltsov sixth, Kowalski is running a solid seventh, Timon Suvik is in eighth, Alexander Schultz is ninth, and Andres Kananowicz rounds out the top 10.
Although with so many people in pits, and I suppose the one or the other is still gonna go in there as the pace car takes a little bit of time. Who knows how the standings are gonna be looking.
Kananowicz gets the wave around, Neto gets the wave around, and Stepanenko gets the wave around. Seneca as well.
Yeah,
they will get their lap back.
Yeah, this is something that the ASRC do. They use the pace car faces to let drivers that are lapped come near to the pack. Quite standard for them. Whoa! Van Leuven almost got inside of the pace car. Yeah.
He's racing the pace car.
Yeah. Are you doing a Sudoku inside of the car? Do people still do those?
I do. Every now and then. They're good to keep the brain sharp. And also, it's about the extent of the math that I want to do in my spare time.
No! That corner is even difficult for the pace car.
It's one of those. It's just. It's surprising, you know. You think there's going to be more runoff, or a wider corner than what there is. Veshkov gets a wave around. Steneker took his wave around opportunity to pit. Oh, pardon. To pit in. And he gets back out in front of the pace car, just barely. Just barely gets out in front.
And pay no mind to the tower here telling you that somebody's in pits. R Factor 2 is a mess with that, so no, there's nobody in pits at the moment. It's just R Factor 2 being R Factor 2. Oh, the pace car is going away from the others? What the heck?
The pace car driver says they gave me a GTE car to be I guess what would that be? Yeah, no, okay, GT2. They gave me a GT2 car to use as a pace car. I'm gonna go GT2 speeds.
Well, why not? I mean, and I mean the pace car of F1 is driven by former DTM race drivers, so there are no slouches in the pace cars normally. You know, even if Hamilton, what?
Looks like Jin Wang actually went loose. It got a little bit loose, went in the grass on the exit of turn 8. Actually, on the inside of the exit of turn 8, not the outside as you would think. And ended up taking out several of the advertisement boards.
Well, as long as it's only that.
Yeah, that's true.
Pace cars
pace car is in.
And we're racing again. Van Leuven first, Simpson second, Wang even after doing all those shenanigans third, Lakar fourth, Zenkov fifth. Let's see where and how and if anything of that changes.
Lakar very, very close to Wang, getting caught up in the sparks, certainly. Close enough to feel those. Goes alongside, dives down to the inside.
And
Wang will have the inside for the next corner. Might be able to stave him off.
Yeah, Lakar make it stick.
Mm-hmm. Lakar moves into third.
Behind we see Koltsov trying to get dangerous to Zenkov.
Van Leuven coming around. Very quick turn 10. Simpson following close behind. Lakar in third. Sander Van Leuven, whenever you take a look at him, about mid-corner, he has a little bit more slip angle than I see on some of the other drivers' cars, which is interesting. Cause as
he goes wide.
He does go wide,
but in a place
like
where it doesn't
lose too much. Yeah, it's a very safe place to go wide there. And actually, if you go very wide, it is as quick as taking the normal line. And yellow in sector 3 pops up.
Simpson overtaking Van Leuven, or not, or yes, they're side by side. Simpson's gonna have the inside line.
Oh, Belchior Neto for Ghost Team. Turn 1, spins, crashes into the wall, leaves his front bumper on the inside of turn 1. He gets that car back going again. Thankfully, he was kind of by himself. I think he was also the cause of the yellow in sector 3, because he was kind of by himself on that regard. The cars at the back have spread out significantly, which is kind of strange to see so quickly after our restart. But Neto is going to be, I'm going to take a wild guess, coming into the pits very shortly.
And despite everything, Van Leuven is taking some space away, so Simpson is not as dangerous to Van Leuven as he was one lap ago.
Although Simpson had a great line out of turn 2 and into that sequence of corners, and it looks like Simpson's breaking away from Lakar and about to catch up to Van Leuven. He's on the outside. The outside of this corner quickly becomes the inside of the next corner. He tucks in. Oh, he dives down to the inside. Van Leuven, also a bit ballsy as well, is able to hold on to that. Oh, Nick Stepanenko, that's a new development, has DNF'd. Nick Stepanenko out of the race. He was 2 laps down and had been struggling quite a bit with his car throughout the race today.
I was saying, race of attrition.
Brings the total number of cars that have DNF'd to 7. I still stand by that this is a good beginner circuit. I will adjust that and say that it's probably not a good beginner circuit if you're in an IndyCar.
Alexander is asking in the chat why using R Factor 2 instead of ACC or Forza, some other sim. Well, first of all, if you're doing IndyCar, R Factor 2 is the only sim that has the official IndyCar cars, the Dallara IR18. And therefore, when we see Simpson overtaking Van Leuven, Van Leuven is not gonna accept that. Van Leuven going wide there.
Another thing to note, ACC is only GT3 and GT4. So if you want to race GT3 and GT4 cars, that is probably the best sim to do that, unless you want more variety. And
they have the Glen, as far as I remember.
Yes, they do. If I recall correctly, I don't want to say that so definitively. Don't quote me on that. But for the type of racing that we're doing, which is IndyCar, R Factor 2 is the best, and a game like Forza, or a Simcade, as I think it's most agreed to be called, like Forza, it may have a diversity of cars available, but it doesn't really have the depth of tire model and attrition car, the car being as fully and completely modeled with regards to physics as R Factor 2 or Assetto Corsa or Assetto Corsa Competizione or a lot of other pieces of software. Project Cars. Yeah, so
2 has the Glen and has classic Indy cars. Don't call them Indy cars.
Yes. It's also worth noting Project Cars 2 also had the IndyCar license and has Indy cars. And I think they might have the Glen, but they do not have other circuits like Twin Ring Motegi or the Milwaukee Mile or any other, or most other races that we have had on this championship. So R Factor 2 is the way to go. R Factor 2, as we have mentioned in this stream and other streams, is not without its faults. There is no perfect sim, but it is what we are using, and it works quite well for what we're using it for.
And while you were doing all that analysis, I went to Steam and checked. The American Track Pack DLC from Assetto Corsa Competizione has Watkins Glen.
So there you go. But it doesn't have IndyCar.
Nope. Not by a long mile.
No, 20 laps to go in this race. We are beginning lap 41 out of 60. So we are now 2/3 of the way through this race. It is shaping up to be a good one. After over an hour of racing, the leaders are all within the top 5, I will say, are all within 10 seconds of each other. Isn't that fun?
We're watching Blacker and Wang battling, although I think Wang just got the better of Blacker.
Yes. And by a good bit too. He got some distance on him quickly. So Wang now 2 seconds back, 2 seconds back and some change from Sander van Leuven. And he is
that, right? I mean,
yeah.
Like Van Leuven, they were battling, then Van Leuven got a second away, then Van Leuven lost the position, now Van Leuven is 2 seconds away. I don't understand it.
Oh, I don't understand it either, but I do love it. I love how this race has been shifting, changing around. We had the battles of, Wang and Zenkov and Koltsov, and now Koltsov is down. Wang went back down. He's come back up. Simpson has been a. Oh, whoa! Wang and Lockhart, they get into each other. My goodness, what a save! What a save!
Yeah.
Woo!
That was close. They're gonna have some words after the race.
They're gonna have to change their underwear after the race. My goodness, that was intense.
Yep.
Timon Suvic comes into the pits. Wow. I have to wonder. They both hit each other's side. Side damage isn't typically as consequential as like a front or a rear damage, where your aero and your dive planes are typically located. Alexander Meshkov into the pits, but you can still, bang some things up with, bouncing tires together, damage your suspension, that sort of thing.
The steering.
Yes, yeah, that can happen as well. It looks like the touch was. I don't think the impact itself was all that serious. It was mainly just where they hit that was so insane. Remember, we're not running the bus stop, and a crash like that, and what a crash like that could turn into, is precisely why the bus stop exists in real life.
True that.
My goodness, they were going full speed through the corner. Here we are, a lap later, going through it again. Wang has got some distance on him now. Takes a very slight bounce through the grass there.
Well, not through the grass because there's some runoff there, but yeah, that's
but he
not
used
nice.
all the runoff and then just like very barely touched the grass. Threw up some dust, certainly. Elliot Simpson still the leader. He has gained some time on Van Leuven. He's 4.5 seconds ahead. Yeah.
Oh, strange.
3 laps ago, that was a 2-second gap. And now it's actually up to 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Oh, did yep. Well, that makes sense. Van Leuven takes the opportunity, comes into the pit lane. That's why it increased so much. So Van Leuven in his scheduled pit stop, I'm going to take a guess. We've been green for a little while now.
It's kind of late for a pit stop, isn't it?
We are 2/3 of the way through the race. I guess 44 of 60. We are. Whoa! Elliot Simpson, your leader. He spins.
And how?
He spins around the big, quick corner there, the outer loop. Whoa! That was.
Take his position. Kowalski
Indeed,
very near.
Position. A lot of luck and some skill came into to him not crashing into the wall at a very high rate of speed there. Thankfully, it was a very slow crash, very slow loss of control for him. He was able to power out and, kind of, I won't say drift it, but kind of guide it away from the wall.
But now those tires don't fit into a round hole.
He didn't lock the tires. Luckily, I don't think they've actually been flat spotted. They're probably just very, very hot. Oh, he takes the opportunity. He comes into the pits. That makes sense. It was probably getting close to the time for his pit stop. He may have been running low. Actually, I'm going to say it. He was running low on tire grip. That car has been out for a while.
Yes, you can say that again.
No kidding. But yeah, so Simpson pits in. Van Leuven is about to pass him in the pits. It'll be a race. Looks like Van Leuven's going to get it. So there you go. So Simpson, with the time that he lost from spinning, he goes down 2 positions, takes his pit stop, comes out behind Van Leuven. with about 4 seconds, about 3.5 seconds. 3.6 looks
Which was the distance that he had before Van Leuven went into pit. So he's lost 8 seconds the way it looks like.
Indeed. Wang is your new leader.
For now.
Indeed. Oh! Wang went wide, got kind of slow there.
Yeah.
Lost some time. Maybe he'll be coming into the pits. It looks like that might have been a lack of confidence in the tires.
Well, it seems that it's the time. So, yeah, he is going into pits.
Indeed. Mlakar will do at least 1 lap in the lead. I think this is the first time that Mlakar has led the race. Hector Comerut has a spin. Mlakar has to slow down to avoid him. That was the yellow in Sector 1. Hector Comerut 5 laps down from the lead lap. It got a bit squirrely. And, oh, Alexander Meshkov DNF'd.
Oh.
Goodness. This is the highest number of DNFs of any track that we've had in this championship.
And Van Leuven spins. No. Was that Simpson?
Neto spins.
Okay.
It's Belchior Neto, pardon. Gets it back going again. I believe. I don't know. He may have lost a position to Timon, but mainly that was just in a really bad spot to be stopped on the track. That is the corner exit. There's yellow in Sector 2 now. Let's see. Oh, yep, I found that. That is Timon, as I mentioned. He is off the track. That looks... Oh, goodness, where is that? Oh, that is the entrance to the boot. So that is going to be turn 6. The exit of turn 6. And Timon has DNF'd. That was a very hard hit for Timon. Hard enough to end his run. So, very quickly, in the past, I would say 5 laps, we lost Nick Stepanenko, Alexander Meshkov, and Timon from this race.
Mlakar in pits.
So, that brings the total up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars out of this race. Wow. That leaves 14 cars remaining. Of the survivors, Vladislav Zenkov is leading. Schultz in second. Van Leuven has worked his way back up into third. Neto, unsurprisingly, is in the pits, repairing damage. Actually, I don't even know if that's damage. That may just be tires. I didn't see Neto hit anything, unless he got hit by someone. So it's looking like Zenkov has been out for a while. I'm going to take a wild guess that Zenkov will need to pit shortly. I think he may even be fuel saving. He's leading the race, but he's not putting down target times. He's running about 2 seconds off of his best. And he's been lifting a little bit early on corner entry, so I think he might be trying to make that car last until the end. I don't know. That might not be the best strategy, and it might not be the strategy at all. I'm just interpreting what I have on my timing screen here.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have said that even
Koltsov. Koltsov spins on turn 1. I'm sorry, not turn 1. That is the bottom of the boot. Yeah, that's the heel of the boot. Koltsov spins. He doesn't hit anything or anybody. But that was the yellow that you saw pop up on your screen if you saw it. And he gets back going again, loses some time. That's 10th place, Georgy Koltsov.
And guess what? Wang is again fighting for position against Simpson. They're fighting for the 4th. Oh, and Mlacker has gone into the fray. Battle for 4th between 3 drivers.
Here we are. The very popular Watkins Glen has, as we promised, resulted in some very, very exciting racing. We have seen.
We have somebody facing the wrong side on the last corner.
Ooh, I see that. That looks. Oh, I'm not sure who that is actually. Got a car spun around. I don't see that car. I saw the car spun around. I didn't see the name associated with that car, and I couldn't tell you who that was. I'm gonna... No, it wouldn't have been the right color to be Hector Comarut. It was a brightly colored car. I couldn't tell you for sure, but yes, there was a car that spun. It may have been Carlos Frau. He was the right color, and he's driving a bit slow right now. So,
and none of it's into pits. So yeah, maybe Zenkov is really hoping to be able to make the 11 laps that are left.
You know what? It may have been that I didn't get the color of the car right. It may have been Kananowicz, because I didn't see any other cars that lost a significant amount of time the last lap, except for him coming into pit. Watkins Indycar, he's worked his way up all the way up to 8th so far. It's not where he wants to be. He's 68 seconds behind the leader. He is still on the lead lap. He had to work his way up to do that, and he has quite a fight to get there later on. Actually, you know what? His last lap was 1 minute 45. Maybe he was the driver who spun. I don't know. Actually, no. I have identified the driver who spun. That was Claudio Oliveira. He ran a 1 minute 55 the last lap. He has a brightly colored car. It's orange and black. Found it. We had a replay system, but we don't have a replay system.
The replay system of R Factor 2 is wonkiest.
Yeah, like we technically have a replay system for any like contrarians in the comments who are like, yes you do, but do we? Come on. It's not one worth using. Or at least certainly not one that we have finagled with the jankiness enough to work. I'm sure some people have gone through that, but hey.
Van Leuven has already gained 2 seconds on Zenkov with 10 laps to go. Of course, racing like crazy because he wants to finish first. And maybe he knows that Zenkov is playing it very safe.
Well, you said 10 laps to go. That lit a fire under the butt of Watkins Indycar. He just ran the best lap of the race of any driver so far, 1 minute 27.281, beating the last best lap, also set by him.
Poor guy started 3rd and is now
8th. He was as far down as 15th, I believe. If not further than that.
That hurts. Meanwhile, Simpson has raced very near to Van Leuven, as has Wang. So, whew.
Battle for second has really shaped up. These 3 drivers, and then another. Wang! Wang has a hard hit against the wall. I have no idea what happened. It may have been netcode. I saw no driver contact. He was just driving in a straight line, and the steering wheel just jerked all the way to the left. All of a sudden, he goes hard into the wall, on the bottom of the boot. It's called it's just called the boot. That straightaway called the boot. And man, that just wrecked his car just almost completely. He is still able to get it into the pits, but man, what a contender that we just lost. What a contender.
He's shown himself to be quite the driver. So what a pity that he just got that issue. Whoa! Van Leuven waving left and right and left and right. That's not acceptable.
Ooh, yeah, we're getting close to the end of the race here, but driver conduct still applies. Man, I'm still. It is heartbreaking to see Wang's car as destroyed as it is, so close to the end of the race.
Yeah.
If this had happened on lap 1, he may have been able to salvage a decent run, but to happen so close to the end, there's just no hope. He's just out of it.
Especially as Wang has shown himself to be a fast driver, to understand Watkins Glen quite well, so it's really a pity.
Yeah, he's been a fast driver. He's been a smart driver as well. In that battle with Zinkov and the other one, Malakar, I think it was. Anyways, he was hanging behind those two drivers for the longest time. He had plenty of opportunities to dive in. Oh, Neto comes in very, very hard damage, missing a front right wheel. That was a very hard hit close to the end of the race. Goodness, for Neto. Parks his car next to Wang. Goodness. Wow.
And we're gonna be seeing a battle for first soon, as Van Leuven is only a second away from Zenkov. Simpson is 1 second away from Van Leuven, so
yeah, this is shaping up to be the most exciting race that we've had this championship. Dare I say it, as we are. I say that we're in it now. I think Van Leuven's going for it. We're in a three-way fight for the lead with only 6 laps to go.
And there we go, Van Leuven first. And I think Zenkov is getting out of the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I counted wrong. 7 laps to go.
But yeah, Zenkov just went out of the way and let Simpson overtake. It's possible that Zenkov is going into pit now, and he's noticed that his tires are gone. Like he did. Whoa, Van Leuven is going very wide there. I don't think that's allowed, but okay.
There was a yellow in sector 2. Georgy Koltsov, who, if you remember, was leading the race for a while, quite a contender. He has crashed and DNF'd.
Ah, bother. This is really a race of attrition.
It has turned into that.
I'm pretty sure it's what you were saying, because Mid-Ohio is more difficult than Watkins Glen. In parts as fast as Watkins Glen, but
it's
Watkins
certainly more
Glen...
technical.
Exactly, and Watkins Glen allows you to be fast in many more curves, and it's trickier than you think when you are sitting at it. And I think they had more respect for Mid-Ohio than for Watkins Glen, and that's showing in the DNFs. Because we only have 9 drivers racing. Oh no, wait. We have a couple more, but still. We have a lot of DNFs. Drivers out of 22 who had to abandon the race. And as it's been for a lot of these races, we see Van Leuven and Simpson battling for position. Indeed,
Simpson's making a run for it. He has the overspeed on Van Leuven. He's going for it. Whoa! He goes into the grass. A spin.
No.
A hard hit against the wall. Simpson's out of it.
Oh, no.
Man.
Oh,
That was-
bother.
Wow. That was a insanely ballsy move to try to throw it up the outside of the corner exit onto the long straight. He threw it way too wide, ended up going in the grass fully, lost traction, and then suddenly gained it back again as he got back onto the road, and half of the car being on and half of the car being off, just threw it into a spin.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up after the race. I think that Van Leuven left him enough place, but I would want to look it up to be sure about that. But I think there's gonna be a lot of discussions after this race in the Discord of the ASRC.
Yeah, so I would say that I'm looking back at the replay now. Let's see. It looks like he didn't give him much room, but by the time that Simpson, Simpson has so much overspeed on Van Leuven, but that basically by the time that Simpson had entered Van Leuven's blind spot, he was already like in an instant alongside him. And Van Leuven at that point, because of the way that corner goes, he was taking a full force, full speed line through there. You can't really go further to the inside once you're going out. Like, centrifugal force is just keeping your car to the outside. I think that move, that liability probably lies on Simpson for diving and going for a space that he knew was not going to be a space unless he was able to fully clear Van Leuven. And when he couldn't clear Van Leuven in time, he had to go in the grass, and we saw how that turned out.
Van Leuven went white and Blackard takes first place for now.
Yes.
Interesting.
But yeah, we will have to take a look at what the stewards will see about that. We're not official, but that's just my analysis. Lap 56 of 60. We have 4 laps remaining. Now we're on 57. 3 laps remaining.
Van Leuven has been going wide in a couple of corners, and Blackard just took the opportunity when Van Leuven went wide once again.
Yep. Van Leuven, though, has the overspeed and going wide, using all that space on Blackard. Ducks down to the inside of this corner. Or gears up to be on the inside of this corner, I'll say. And then dives down. So there we go. A very clean pass along the straight. And then he's going to keep in front of Blackard. Blackard getting a little bit loose there, loses some time.
Yeah, but he's still on his tail.
Oh, absolutely.
And hoping that Van Leuven goes wide again to be able to retake.
Yeah, we thought this was going to be an Elliott Simpson and Van Leuven battle up until the end here, but it looks like it's going to be a Mlakar and Van Leuven battle up until the end here. All other contenders have crashed out.
I mean, if Van Leuven left enough place or not, that's for the stewards to say, but I agree with you that Simpson was a little bit too optimistic.
Oh yeah. Man, we had a 4-way fight here not too long
goes
ago.
On the inside.
Ooh, very good overspeed
and takes
from
the
Mlakar.
position.
Indeed, but does he underbrake going into the corner? I think he does, because Van Leuven's glued to the back of Mlakar all over again. Oh, yellow in sector 2. That's the same sector that Mlakar and Van Leuven are in. Looks like it went away. It might have just been a little wiggle from a driver.
Retaking first position.
In the exact same way that he had it before.
Exactly.
They're trading places. Trading blows. Hopefully not trading blows.
Nice racing.
Oh, absolutely. With 2 laps, less than 2 laps to go, they're going to be catching up on some lap traffic here. Looks like Oliveira is ahead of them.
Locker trying to find the same spot, but not being able to. Oh, I think Mlaka just encountered a little bit of dirty air.
Yeah, I can see that. Whoa, Oliveira spins out. Well, thankfully he was on the inside. That allows the leaders who are still battling to go by. I think Mlakar might have lifted out a little bit when he saw that, because he lost a 10th. Whoa, Mlakar, big overspeed.
Yeah.
Van Leuven just like looked quite slow by comparison. Goodness.
Surprised, but one thing that we have to tell everybody watching here is that these cars have a lot of draft, and when you're behind one of them, you get like really sucked in.
Indeed, but the flip side of that is that you no longer have the downforce going over your car, pushing your car down, so it can be a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing on the straightaways, it's a curse through the corners. We're on lap 59 of 60, so we have this time around and one more to go, and that will be the end. Van Leuven is in the front, Mlakar is alongside on the inside. Whoa, there was a touch there on the wheels. When they say wheel-to-wheel racing action, they mean it. Oh, Mlakar has his nose just tucked in there. Van Leuven is able to swing out, get ahead of Mlakar, get a little bit more distance on him. Wow, that was almost very bad for both drivers. Man, we are coming up right to the end of the wire here, and it is so close. It has been, this is about to be lap 60 of 60, and they're within a half a second of each other for the lead.
Great.
Mlakar passes in insane speed through there, but Van Leuven is able to catch him on this following straight. It's not a matter of like one car is quicker than on the straights than the other car. Like, they're both quick on different straights, and it evens out to such a degree that they are battling. They are within a hundredth of a second right now. Van Leuven goes in the grass
and therefore loses the opportunity to overtake, where he's done so often.
Yeah, that could be the differentiating factor. They've been doing the same thing with such regularity for like 3 laps now. That was the one break that maybe Mlakar needed to get around and stay in front of Van Leuven. But Van Leuven still has the oh, whoa, Hector Comerud stopped on the track! Van Leuven! Van Leuven!
What a pity.
Into the wall, into the lap down car. It's gonna be Mlakar. Oh my goodness, Van Leuven, DNF. Out of the race.
Bother.
A hard
on the
hit
last lap.
with Hector Comerud, a car 6 laps down, who had spun out on the final lap. Oh, that is heartbreaking. That is insane.
Mlakar, on any case, a well-earned first place. Would have loved to see a fight to the very last second, but Mlakar was at the front. He had no nothing to do with the crash, so Mlakar, well-earned first place. Jakub Kowalski making second, Zenkov third, Steneker fourth. Imagine that after the race that he's had. Schultz fifth, Simpson sixth, Carlos Frau seventh, Van Leuven still even DNFing 8th, Kananovic 9th, Wang 10th. Next week, you're gonna be seeing us at Motegi in an oval configuration.
I have not
ahead.
picked my jaw back up off the floor after after Van Leuven.
Yeah.
Wow. I am
Yeah.
wow. What an upset! Holy cow! Oh goodness.
Not exactly what you want to see. But
No, certainly not. We saw
Mlaker-
heartbreak.
yeah,
We saw
Mlaker had
heartbreak in the
nothing to
exact
do
same
with
spot.
that, so hey.
No, certainly he was just able to clear. He went to the inside instead of the outside. Both drivers tried to split Hector Comerut's car on either side, and Hector Comerut was just moving almost with no knowledge that either car was coming up on him, and just went straight into him and absolutely destroyed his race. That is wow.
Absolutely.
Well, there might be some penalty points dealt out for that, or it may just be declared to be a racing incident. One way or another, we can be certain that you weren't expecting that one. Wow. Well, that's I guess that's the kind of racing that we that bring is unexpected and always exciting, down to the wire on the final lap. Such closeness after so much time. It has been almost 2 hours of racing. I think well over an hour and a half. I think we're at about like an hour and 45 minutes on track, and it has been just a absolute thrilling adventure all the way through. You could not have predicted a winner of this race at any point in this race. Congratulations to Dimitri's to Mlaker and CS Racing. Your DNF teammate Franchi Pacherko, very proud. I'm certain of it. Congratulations to all of the finishers. That was a very difficult race to finish, apparently. The ultimate tally of cars that didn't finish, by my very quick count, was 11. 11 cars did not finish the race. 12 cars did.
In any case, we'll be seeing each other next week, same time, 2015 CET, 7:15 GMT, and whatever other time zones you are. I'm crap at time zones. We're gonna be seeing each other at Motegi, and until then, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other at the podium.